for probably a year straight without even a break. And I'm going to take kind of a vacation soon. I'm just warning you, I got to take some time off. And probably a couple of weeks. I don't know exactly when. It might be when after my daughter gets her second vaccination. But I have to do this. I mean, I see also the classes are getting less and less people, which means I think people are getting a little bit, stretched by this and maybe not so desirous to attend. So, maybe we all need a little break. And I know I need a little break. I mean, it's been straight for an entire year, 7 classes a week on Thursdays and Sundays, 50, 60 people in a class in classes. So I'm going to do this soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but I will have to do this soon. So please, everyone, just try and work deeply inside, and we'll have a meditation class, and hopefully people are really benefiting from this. And as I said also last night, the thing that really makes this work is commitment, a real commitment to it, and doing it, literally every day, attending classes, committing oneself to learning how to do a simple thing, which is not so easy, and that's to connect one's consciousness to higher energy in the universe, because that's all this is about, and all the other things are just benefits of building that connection, getting economically secure, racially secure, sexually secure, the physical and emotional and mental benefits come out of building that connection with higher energy in the universe. Because in order to have that connection, we have to get a quiet mind. We have to get our hearts open. We have to get really balanced inside. That makes it possible. And in getting those things, suddenly the world we live in gets healthier. We begin to see what's real in life, what's an illusion, how to make choices. It's all a byproduct of developing that kind of system inside ourselves. Our crafts get more fine-tuned. Our ability to succeed in the world works better. The love we have for our families gets deeper and more profound. All of this is a byproduct of getting a connection with higher energy in the universe. And the meditation practice is about building a system that makes this possible. So it not only heals us spiritually, it heals us as human beings as well. And I think the two of them go hand in hand. They can't be separated from each other. Because once you separate them from each other, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can't walk around in your mind and your ego thinking you know better, not really having any kind of depth of surrender inside yourself, and expect to have a connection with God. There's so much interference that it's like a radio where there's constant static. It just doesn't work. So our job is to kind of purify ourselves, to build an inner life that makes the human and the spiritual possible, because these two things go hand in hand with each other. And when I see people do this, it really fills me with a lot of gratitude, because it shows me that what's going on here is working and it's helping people in their daily lives. And I can't do this when people that come once a month, they disappear for 3 weeks. They got this, I got that. It doesn't work. I can't do it. And in many cases, I just take their names off of my mailing list, because what I'm doing can't be of benefit from them if they don't make some kind of steady commitment. And that's all I ask. And basically, what does it do? It takes out an hour a day for 3 days a week, of one's time. It's not asking for a lot of, time from people. So all of this works together. It really does. And that really is what determines the growth inside a human being. And it's whether what I teach or somebody else teaches or whatever your job is, your craft is, whatever you do in life, you got to make a commitment to it. Otherwise, it doesn't work. You have to truly learn how to basically get out of the way and let higher creative energy, build your life and determine your life and create your life for you. Please try and sit still. Yeah. So please, let's have a meditation class. And when I do decide to do this vacation thing, I will tell everybody. But I think it's something that I'm going to have to do because this has been over a year now, staring into a computer and doing this work and trying to make a commitment to people that come here and do this. And I think it'd be just totally right to take a little time and maybe spend it with my daughter or go on a vacation somewhere and, and do something a little different. And I still will meditate, but then after I come back here, we'll resume what we're doing. But this will probably be in a month or so. So, it's not going to happen so quickly. So everybody, please work deeply inside and we'll have a meditation class. And thank you. And God bless you all for being here. Question you'd like to ask?
Stuart, I got a sort of a question. I wonder if you can talk about, you've been talking about the unknown. And I've been noticing lately that I'm suddenly having fresh, new thoughts. My thoughts are stale and they're like going away, and I get new thoughts, and there's this taste of the unknown, which is really a remarkable feeling and experience. And
well, look, to answer your question, what we know, you can fit into a thimble, a shot glass, we know so little about life. And I don't care how extensive one's IQ is and how intelligent we are. The knowledge that we accumulate maybe can fit into a teacup. The unknown is where all creative energy is, where all energy of a higher nature emanates from. It's energy that goes to places outside of time and space, outside of all manifestation. It's the energy of life. It's the energy of death. Most of life, we know little or nothing about. And there's so much to know that we can never fill our brains with all that knowledge. So, the alternative to that is to not have to accumulate knowledge in our brain because it just congests us, but to allow the unknown, to allow higher energy to flow through us, to manifest in our lives, to create our lives, so that whatever we do gives us the capacity to step into the unknown. And we're no longer afraid of the unknown. And I think it's an amazing way to grow and to live one's life. Because once you start living in everything you know, it's like living in a prison. There's no escape. And, some people are highly creative and they have vast intelligences and, people that, certainly in this technological world, the intelligence is extraordinary. But ask any of them, whatever they know is like a grain of sand on a beach, and usually doesn't make them very happy. Because ultimately, all of that knowledge is applied in one direction, and that really has to do with making money, creating something that can make people richer. And what I'm talking about is spirit, higher energy, God, that allows us to create things in the world, but also to go beyond that to a place which is, connected to energy that's outside of time and space, that is where all the great knowledge and wisdom, all the great music and art and literature, all the great aspects of life that we experience, it all comes from there. And that's in the unknown. It becomes known because we allow it to channel through us and manifest. So then it becomes, a concerto, a painting, whatever our life is, the businesses we run in life, our families. That really is an expression of the unknown manifesting in our lives. And then we try to make it known and we destroy it instead of giving it the freedom to be. And all the work I teach is based upon learning how to do this. I mean, I told you that, I read this thing about Bach, and I mentioned because I love this. He was dying, and everybody is all upset and, miserable and, oh my God, lamenting. And he said, what are you so upset about? I'm just going to where the music comes from. It's one of the greatest things I've ever heard said. The unknown, I'm going to where all the music comes from. And that eliminates the fear of life, the fear of death, the fear of anything, frankly, the fear of stepping into the unknown.
It's 2:00.
So open to the unknown. Build a system that allows you to channel the unknown. Don't try to encapsulate it in your brain, because first of all, the brain isn't big enough. And second of all, you'll give yourself a headache. And third of all, it's not going to be the way you initially experienced it. You interpret it according to the way you see the world. And then it becomes part of that interpretation. And what it's trying to do is to give you the ability to see a fresher world, a renewed world, a resurrected world. It's trying to allow you to recognize that Genesis isn't something that took place 1 billion years ago. It's happening every moment around every one of us. Everything is being recreated around us, and the only person who's missing is us because we don't have the consciousness. I mean, it's really one of the most important things I've learned in the practice of this meditation. And it's, in a sense, the only real security you can have in life, because everything else is transient. The unknown is not transient, it's endless. And it really connects us to God, to spirit, to energy that's infinite in the universe. And then that becomes what we create from, what manifests in our lives. I hope that's clear, I mean, it's not an easy thing to grasp because it's a difficult thing to experience, but it's certainly worth working for because it determines whether or not we live in a world full of illusion or we live in a world full of reality. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I know this, because basically I'm kind of an artist in my soul, I've written a lot of books, I've studied art, I used to, earn a living dealing in very beautiful art, and it's in my soul, and I recognize that all of these things were just manifestations of the unknown that came through somebody. The Old Testament, the New Testament. I mean, they're the manifestations of somebody who was strong enough to allow that energy to create books of such wisdom. The Bhagavad Gita, same thing. The Vedas, the Quran, they're all manifestations of somebody who had enough inner strength to allow that energy to flow through them and create these extraordinarily profound books and works of art and music and, you know, and life. Life is the ultimate work of art. And we try to encapsulate it in what we know. And it's almost ridiculous, you know, because it's the most extraordinary manifestation of God's energy, life, the greatest teacher. And it all emanates from the unknown. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Good question, Skanda. That kind of things really opened me to talk about them because they're very profound. And I learn also when I talk about these things.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the Shakti and wisdom. Also, I got another question, Stuart. That is how important is semen retention for the Kundalini process?
How it's important in keeping your attention?
No, sorry. I feel it's a crude question. Semen retention, is that the word?
What is the word? Demon?
Semen.
Semen.
Yeah. Retention, is that the word? When you hold your self orgasm.
Semen retention can be important because it could draw energy to the Kundalini and activate the Kundalini. But at the same time, you know, we live life and people have orgasmic experiences when they make love. If you learn how to draw the orgasm to the base of the spine, that energy will also activate Kundalini and give you a very profound inner experience that will truly, you know, take you to a place of deep, deep meditation. So they're both important. You understand? They are both important and one shouldn't conflict with the other. You know, I mean, when you build a system inside to do these things, they both become ways of activating Kundalini. But it depends on the system we build inside ourselves that enables us to do these things, you know? So, you know, I know that they're in Taoism, they write a lot about semen retention and stuff like that, you know? And, you know, yes, it's true. It's really true. But at the same time, the other thing I spoke about is also true. So it depends upon how developed the chakra system is. You could use both of these things in order to build your inner life and get, you know, a connection with Kundalini and ultimately spiritual enlightenment.
Thanks. Mm.
Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
I have also a question, Stuart.
Yes.
Maybe it's also, it goes further on the question of scanner of the unknown, but how can you talk about dealing with expectations maybe or so, or?
Well, I think expectations often, you know, I think they create more illusion than they're worth happening. Well, because, you know, we have expectations, yes. We live in certain ways. We expect people to behave in certain ways. Nobody ever does, you know, and nothing works that way, you know, but we have to have the inner strength to be able to deal with life as it manifests around us. Because whatever expectations we have, we're always going to be disappointed because they're never going to come the way we expected them to come. But life will manifest and people will do things that we don't like, that we never expect them to do. And we need to be strong enough to be able to accept life as it is and as it comes to us and to learn from it. You know, I mean, look, you know, in my life, I've written a lot of books, and a lot of them are really good books. And I expected to have some success in the world with them, and it never really came. And I had to learn to surrender that. I had to learn to let go. It'll be what it is, you know? What am I going to do? I can't determine how the world sees the things the way I write. So it's the expectation kind of led me down a fool's alley, but it didn't keep me from writing the books because I had to do it and had to learn the craft and develop the craft. And then I get letters back from people and emails who have read these. And they, one woman, God bless her, she tells me she keeps one of my books by her bedside and reads them every single day, and they've so helped her with her life. That is a fulfillment. Not all the money they should have brought and the success in the world and all that, because I look out at the world and it's a very, very crazy world we live in. And it's a world that is full of delusion and illusion, and people, forcing that illusion and delusion on each other. And I have to accept the fact that what I can do in life is what I can do, and not to have any preconceptions about the way people will respond to it or do with it, or have any expectations like that. I just do the work. I do my work. And whatever it manifests as, it manifests. And however the world responds, it responds. And I've learned how to not allow that to upset me or to, my expectations weren't fulfilled. Okay, Meanwhile, other things manifest and take place that are just as rich and profound, and things I never dreamed I'd be doing these classes, ever. I never even thought about teaching in Zoom, whoever thought about this? And then it happened, and, and so far it's been relatively successful, or I see people kind of falling away from it, and the classes are getting smaller, especially here in Europe and Israel. But what am I going to do? I just have to do the best I can to nurture people and not have any expectations about the way it should be. And I'm also convinced that if, look, you come out of this and one person really gets what you have to teach, your life has been successful. Then they have a thing in the Jewish religion. If you save one life in your lifetime, the gates of heaven will open to you. And I believe that. So I have no more expectations about literally anything I do. I just do. And try to do to the deepest I can possibly do it, the most creative, and give in the most truthful way I can possibly give to other people. And what they do with it, I have no expectations because I don't know. I don't live their lives. So I think it's very good to just love people and let them be. Love life and let it be. And not have all these things in our brain about the way the world should function and how it should be. Because I have no idea. I have no idea. I've been reading this book, I've been talking about The Man of La Mancha, and it's really about this, about every human being sees an alternate reality, and they believe in that reality, whether anybody else believes in it or not. It's really an incredible book. And it's a very funny book. But that's, it teaches one not to have expectations because nobody is going to see the world the way I see it. But I can truthfully take people into my heart. I can open, I can nurture them. I can do the best I can possibly do in what I do, but have no expectations about the way people will use it in their own life because everybody's different. A lot of joy when I see people coming back and wanting to learn this because it inspires me to work on myself. And years ago, I used to have a lot of disappointment when I see people leave, but that doesn't happen anymore. Whatever I've done has helped them, and maybe it's enough, so they have to move on to something else. And I try to cross that bridge into just about every area of my life. I mean, I had that with my daughter, for instance. I came here to live with her. I promised her a year to help her, and I thought it would be through meditation. Turned out it wasn't through meditation. I had to tune into what she wanted in her life and support her, and it turned out beautifully. And the second I changed, it got better and better for her. And now she's coming to me and she says, Daddy, I need to meditate. I mean, and this is over a span of time. I mean, it's amazing how life works. To give somebody the room to have their life and not to control people, not to have all these expectations about the way people should live, because you never know. And mostly you create rebels. When you do that. You tell people how to live, there's a lot of rebellion. There's a lot of angst and family problems, and you got to be this religion, you got to be that race, you got to be this, that, you know, you got to go get a doctor's degree, you got to, you know, I mean, it creates a lot of anxiety in people because maybe people don't want that in their life. They have to find an expression of their own creativity.
I think though it's sometimes I think it's quite difficult for me. It is difficult to let go expectations, as you talked about it you too. You know, surrender is not like you do it overnight or so. It takes time. Or
yeah, Paul. Look, you're not alone in that. Everybody has that problem. Everybody, and you're right. It takes time. You understand? It takes time for an apple to get to where you can eat it. You know, it has to ripen. It takes time to have a baby, which you and Candace should understand. The baby has to grow and be ready to be born. It takes time to mature, to grow, and it takes time to overcome expectations because they are so pounded into us when we're younger that they condition us to live in certain ways that we have to change. Yes, you're right. And I have a lot of patience. If I didn't have the patience, I couldn't have students. To allow people the time to grow and change in their life and to just love them and nurture them. And when they come to do that with your daughter, your beautiful Josephine, you know, she's so gorgeous, that kid. Just love her and let her find her creativity and her path, you know, and she'll find it. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Have patience.
Stuart?
Yes.
I know you will see. I have to have patience too. But when I meditate with you, you know, and I go deeper, and lately I had it was very painful physically. And yes, I said to me, I have to be patient and everything. But suddenly then Ramadan came and I had to pray often. And it just feels like a medicine. And that pain.
Good.
It helped me so much. You know, it helps to pray in any of religion, I think.
I'm not adverse to that. I'm averse to all the rules and regulations of religion. But I'm not adverse to people praying. You know, you have to ask God and then you get answers. Things happen. Yes. I think it's wonderful. Laura.
I wasn't religious until 10 years or 8 years ago. And I don't believe in everything. I just...
Well, okay, then, you know, look, just do your prayers, do your meditation. All of this is coming about because you're building a system that's allowing it to happen. You understand?
Yes.
Don't ever take it for granted and don't ever assume you've arrived. You are building a system inside that is making it possible for even these prayers to work for you.
It's true.
And just be grateful. And continue.
I am grateful. I'm grateful. I'm feeling so good. 3 days now. I not eating 20 hours now.
Flora, just be grateful. Just, you know, do your work inside, do your prayers, let it all work on you. It'll do nothing but bring incredible benefits to your life. I mean it.
Yes. I can feel it now.
Yes, I can see it. I remember the first day you came to class. I see you now, a different human being. You're not the same person, you know? This clarity, this clear in your eyes, your whole complexion has changed. Everything has changed, you know?
Really?
Amazing. So just continue working on yourself and all the rest of it will take place.
And when you said you have to go to a vacation, I just felt no. But yes, no, I think no, I can read your books in that time.
You can read, you can get my books and read them. You know, and you know, look, there's a thing that in me too is human. You know, I
know.
You understand? I've been doing this literally 7 classes a week with a lot of people for, you know, a year now straight without stopping. It's a very big commitment I've made, and I won't stop it. But at some point, you know, I said to my daughter, you know, we'll go somewhere, we'll take a trip. You know, and she's meditating with me, so I'll meditate with her, you know. But I need, you know, it's not going to be now. It's going to be in probably a month and a half that I'll do this. She has to get 2 vaccinations before I'll do it.
Yeah, okay. You deserve to have vacation.
Thank you, dear. God bless you. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? All right, well, I won't be going on a vacation until somewhere towards the end of May. So, but God bless you all. Thank you. And I hope to see you all in the class on Sunday. And if you know people, you know, look, I see a lot of people vanishing from this class. And if you know people that are interested, I always say you got to get 100 people to get 2 good students, you know? So if you know people, they're very welcome to come. Don't be ashamed to ask them. Have them get in touch with me. They'd be welcome to study here. And who knows, you know, out of that group of people like here, I'm finding very good students. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for people that have excuses. There's always a reason why they can't be here. I'm looking for people that truly make a commitment and are growing the way you just described yourself, Laura. I really couldn't ask for more, you know? Does anyone else have a question? Okay, God bless you all, and I will see everybody on Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.